Hello, Luther students. Congratulations to the class of 2020. I'm Emily Fons here at my home in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, class of 2006. I'm here to hopefully answer a few questions that you might have about my time after Luther, and in particular about my career as a professional opera singer. I transferred to Luther for the last 2 years of my bachelor's degree. I was really fortunate to study with both Dr. Andrick and Dr. Kanakis, of course coach with Jessica Paul, and take all the classes that the rest of you took, music history with Griesheimer, etc., all of which I felt were just absolutely foundational in my understanding of music, musicality, music theory, myself as a person, as a singing human. So I thank all those instructors for the absolutely wonderful information and mentorship that they provided to me during my time at Luther. I'd say some of my favorite memories from Luther are just the time I spent with people, just the time away from class, the time, at night being silly, building snowmen, getting a shake at Marty's, going to the chick hatchery, wandering around downtown, going to Rochester because, we needed the mall so badly. And just those kinds of things are my happy memories of what it was like to make friends and meet really special people that will be with me hopefully for the rest of my life. So I hope that you take some of those memories with you too and stay connected to those people that were a special part of your time at Luther.
Hi Emily, my name is Kylie Corey, and as of next week I will be a graduate of Luther College with a degree in English. But this past semester I studied the role of Meg Page for our canceled production of The Merry Wives of Windsor. During quarantine, I have come back to my family farm in central Illinois with our 9 cows, which has been lovely and an extra layer of social distancing and social isolation.
Nice to meet you. I hope that your time at home is really great, even though it's definitely not what you were expecting right now. I'm so sorry to hear that you had to cancel your production of Merry Wives of Windsor. That's actually the opera that we did my senior year at Luther, and I sang Alice Ford. So that just goes to show you that a lot can change between undergrad and the time you enter the professional career. So I'm glad to hear that you're graduating this year, and congratulations on that.
I just have a few questions for you today. So, how did you know that you were ready for graduate school, and was it financially worth it, or did you have an assistantship to help you get through your grad program?
I would say I knew I was ready for grad school because I wanted more experience, more information. It's still a learning process, so nobody's going into grad school as a finished product. So I think really if you've done your undergrad and you want more education, you're ready for grad school. I switched voice types when I got to grad school. So, just because you don't have your voice figured out does not mean you're not ready for grad school. That would actually probably be a case to say you are ready for grad school. You need more information, you need more time to cook and simmer, etc. Where you go to grad school, that can depend on a lot of things. I knew I wanted to work as a professional singer, but I also knew I needed more time. So I chose to go to a school that was, a little bit off the beaten path, not one of the big name conservatories, and that worked really well for me. In addition to grad school, I would say that probably the most important thing for me in my career was doing young artist programs. In my opinion, it's really important to kind of see what other singers are doing, hear other singers, be around other singers, and a great way to do that is in a young artist program. So I would say, that after grad school, really make a point of auditioning for those programs and see if you can find, a situation that's going to work really well for you, where you can learn and have performance experiences, etc.
How well do you feel that you or any other professional artist needs to know the score before or prior to rehearsals?
My advice is to know the ins and outs of the show and your part as well as you possibly can when you show up. That means off-book, memorized, knowing what you're saying and what it means and how to pronounce it. I recommend going to a coach that knows the show well. That's always the first step. And that can really give you an idea of what the conductor is going to ask for. If that person has experience playing the show, they can help you with tempi changes, etc. All that information is so useful. I grabbed a copy of Ariodante that I've been working on, and as you can see there, I've got the beats marked in, I've got my part highlighted, and I've got both the translation and the IPA written in for reference. So that's a really good jumping off point.
What are some of your favorite activities to maintain the athleticism required of singers?
The activities that I like to do to keep my mind and body healthy at home and on the road are running and yoga. I find that both of them pair really well with singing. You have to listen to your body, you can be goal oriented, and all you really need is a mat and a pair of running shoes. So they travel really well, which is something that I like.
How does one go about festing in foreign opera houses and maintain that lifestyle and auditioning at said opera houses as an American?
Your question about festing is a really common one. A lot of young singers know that it is one of the paths that you can take to becoming a professional singer. And I do want to stress it is one of the paths you can take. And for some people, it might end up being a really good option. And as with anything in this career, there are a number of doors and ways into that system. So I would say if you are, if you have strong German language skills, you might even consider getting your master's degree in Germany, making those contacts over there that could help you feed into the FEST system. Another way to go about it would be to audition for young artist programs in Germany, where you might not need quite as strong of German skills yet. You could hone those skills once you're in the young artist program, and then that could feed into a FEST contract. Another way to go about it would be to get some experience in the US, get your master's degree, do a young artist program, and then audition for those FEST opportunities in Germany. I do want to say another opportunity in Germany is to be in the chorus. I don't know if that's something you're interested in. You might actually make more money as a chorus star than as a solo FEST singer. It's definitely not the way to make millions, but a lot of people prefer a FEST contract for its stability, or if they're trying to raise a family. You will also get a lot of performance experience. German houses do a lot of performances. In fact, Germany has probably the most theaters of any country in the world. So, you'll do a lot of singing, but, as a FEST singer, you're more kind of part of the machine. You might have the opportunity to guest, which would mean leaving your FEST contract to sing a role at another house, depending on, your voice type, etc. There's a lot of variables. It's definitely something to look into if you're interested, but I would say, focus on honing your German skills, and then, be honest with yourself about, why you're doing it and what kind of career you're trying to build. I felt for myself, I wanted to be an American singer working in America, at least for now, and networking and contacts and all of that, as with any industry, becomes very important, so if you're FEST and then you want to come home and sing, you've got to keep those contacts alive, etc. So it's just kind of something to explore. Nothing is set in stone, and you might find that it works really well for you, and you might not, so I think part of this whole career is being really flexible and being honest with yourself about what you want and what you're willing to do to be a singer, etc. So again, just one of many paths.
How does the general operatic landscape differ from that of America?
I would say that there's actually not a lot of difference between the opera landscape in Europe and the UK versus America for a freelance singer. So if you're going to be bopping around to different companies, etc., I think you'll find that it's often quite similar. I do think that there are lots of opportunities in Europe. The proximity of countries, the number of opera houses, etc., that can be exciting, and there can be a lot of opportunities if you can kind of get your foot in the door there. Again, it's a little bit different if you're FEST, in Germany. That's kind of one of the only places in the world you can actually really do that. So you can explore the, options for kind of staying put, building a family, etc., having a little bit of time in one place in Germany. But otherwise, I would think, it's often quite similar for the freelance performer who will be moving around quite a bit.
Those are my questions. So thank you so much for being so willing to provide guidance again and some advice to
Thanks for
young
all your
singers.
questions, Kylie. I know that it can be really overwhelming when you're leaving undergrad and there's so many options out there, but I want you to look at that as actually the best part of it, is that there are so many options out there, and that success for one person is not success for another person, and that your identity as a singer is determined by you and what makes you happy and what ticks your boxes. So I would say stay flexible, work hard, be open and ready for those opportunities when they come your way, and you'll be just fine. You'll find what works for you, and I'm excited to hear what that ends up being.
Stay safe, stay well, and I hope you are still able to maintain the positivity and get back to doing opera sometime soon.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really getting antsy to get out there and perform again, so thank you. I hope that we will all be out there making music again soon.
See ya. Thank you.
Thanks again for having me as part of your webinar, and congratulations to the class of 2020 once again. I hope that you're all staying safe and healthy right now, and I want you to know that my door is always open for any questions that you might have. I really believe that there are as many paths and journeys in this life as there are people, so I hope that you can all have the strength and courage to find your unique voice and trust your gut, follow your heart, and make music at Luther and beyond.